This week we're taking a look at Nicodemus's conversation with Jesus. This is an undercover conversation that happens in the night, and it's very familiar to most people. We're going to be focusing on a couple verses right near the end, but to begin with, let us start out by reading John chapter 3, verses 17 and 18 from the ESV. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but in order that the world might be saved through him. Whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only Son of God. So there's a lot of condemnation talk there, which leads us to our verses of interest. First up, verse 19, and this is the judgment. The light has come into the world, and people loved the darkness rather than the light, because their works were evil. There's a lot to see here in verse 19. We're going to break it into 4 parts and proceed hopefully quickly but thoroughly. So first up, aute de estin he krisis, and this is the verdict or the finding. So the word krisis means judgment. He krisis means judgment, but it's not the process of judging. It's the verdict or the outcome or the findings of judgment. So when judgment has already taken place, what was found? So Jesus tells Nicodemus, and this is the judgment. Here's the verdict, here's the finding. What is it? Hoti tophos eleluthen eis ton kosmon. The light has come into the world. So hoti, that, so that's signifying what the verdict is. Tophos, the light, and now we get the important part for this piece of the verse. Eleluthen. This is a perfect tense verb, and it's from erchomai. I know it doesn't look like it's from erchomai, but it is. The light has come at some point in the past into the world and continues to be present in the world. That's the significance of the perfect tense verb here in this instance. Eis ton kosmon is into the world. So what event is the coming of the light into the world? Well, probably from a Christian theology perspective, it's the incarnation of Christ. Christ coming into the world is the light coming into the world. The next part, kai egepeisen hoi anthropoi malon to skotos e to phos. Tons here, great stuff. Kai egepeisen, they loved, and they loved. Who are they? Hoi anthropoi, the men, generically the people. Malon, this is a great word, rather, toskotos e tophos. Rather, they loved toskotos, the darkness, rather than the light. So malon and this a, this than, rather than, is important because we're not talking about a question of degrees, like I like broccoli 70% more than I like cauliflower, right? That's a question of degrees. This is more of a binary choice. The people loved darkness rather than light. They created a binary choice. I either like this or that. Not I prefer this more than I prefer that. But I loved dark and hated light. Binary choice with malon. And finally, ein gar auton ponera ta erga. Gar, for, ein, were, autain, there, ta erga, works, or deeds, and then ponera, evil. Why did they love darkness rather than light? Because their deeds, their works, their activities were evil. So pretty wild stuff. They favor the darkness when faced with a choice between darkness and light. They loved darkness rather than light as a matter of concealment, of camouflage. Their works were evil, so they liked darkness rather than light. Darkness is nature's own camouflage. Let's go to verse 20. For everyone who does wicked things hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his works should be exposed. So there's a couple of great things to see here, but only in two parts. Paschar hophaula prason mise tophos kai uk erketai pros to phos. So the key here at the beginning is, so Paschar hophaula prason. Prason is a participle that comes from praxis. We get our English word practice. Practical comes from the same root. And hoprason is a present participle, the one who does. With the pas in front of it, it's everyone or anyone who does. Who does what? Who does phala, worthless things. It can be bad things or evil things, but when we're talking about a moral aspect, we would usually use kakos. But here, phala is more like useless or worthless or invalid, unimportant things. So for everyone who does or practices worthless things, mise hates tophos, the light, kai uk erketai, and does not come pros tophos, to the light. So it's a compound thing. They do two different things. They hate the light and they will not come to the light. They do not come to the light. Who are these people? Everyone who continually practices worthless things. Now let's look at the reason for this. Hina me elengthe ta erga autu. In order that his works, so this person who does that, these people who do that, so that their works should not come to light, should not be brought to light or brought to reveal. Great pun, right? Why do they love the dark? Why do they refuse to come to the light? Why do they hate the light? Because their evil deeds, their worthless deeds, might be brought into the light. They prefer the darkness because the darkness is nature's camouflage. Can't see what I'm doing if I stay in the dark. The light only shows the reality of what I'm doing. So there's a persisting contrast here that I want to point out. The participle is in the present tense, continually doing worthless things. Hate is in the present tense. They continually hate the light. Not coming into the light is in the present tense. It's continually not coming into the light. Why? Because they don't want their deeds to be brought into the light. That's the reason for the ongoing favoring of darkness and disfavoring of light. Hating or resisting the light keeps the deeds from being exposed. So what's the lesson here? Obviously the lesson is darkness likes darkness and doesn't like light. But the real key here is all this is being said to an important and powerful man who comes to Jesus in the dark, who comes to talk to him at night and not when people would see him. That's the key to the whole thing, right? It's a challenge to a prominent and powerful man to consider his own relationship with light and dark. He wants to talk to Jesus. He wants to be exposed to the light, but not so that anyone else might see it. And that's a danger, isn't it? If you're faced with a choice between light and dark and you choose darkness because you like the camouflaging effect of it, there's a problem there, right? And Jesus points that out to Nicodemus in their conversation at night under the cover of darkness, nature's camouflage, so that no one knows that this powerful and influential and important person has gone to the light, who has come into the world and remains in the world. Pretty powerful stuff. Hope that was good for you. If it was, please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Hit the little notification dinger on Koine Corner's channel on YouTube so you know when there's new content. And leave me some feedback in the comments. Let me know what you think about nature's camouflage. And until next time, Charis Kairein Humin, grace and peace to you.